Good afternoon, and it's great to be here. I'm just going to bore you with a little bit of my work experience, but currently I'm the founding chef and partner at Cortino here in Chicago. We opened the restaurant December 13th, 2005. So at that time, the idea of small plates, the idea of sharing food was just emerging. It wasn't happening. You know, in the Asian cultures, it's very formal, but in the Western culture, you know, you get a plated food, your food comes to you, it's served, and then you share this, right? Well, we flipped the whole concept and we put everything in the center of the table. We scaled down the portions and we approached it from a very fun, engaging perspective. One of the things we focused on was Italian rice. We focused on making fresh pastas, making all of the salumis in-house, and Italian rice. So here today we'll talk a little bit about Italian rice and some of the things you probably know already, and hopefully you walk away with a couple of things that you feel some value in. So there's 140 different species of Italian rice. The one you probably have heard of is called arborio, right? It's the most plentiful. Grows the fastest. It is not the best rice for making risotto. Arborio is not. No, there are books have been written on the subject. Okay, and unfortunately, getting that message across is why I've written this book based on that. So if we're going to use arborio, which is the grains are soft, we're going to use that in dishes such as a frittata, such as soups. Its best application is soups, okay? So before we go any further and I confuse you, the rice that I prefer to use universally it's a Caneroli species. The rice is called Acquarello. It's very, very expensive. And I'll tell you a little bit about the rice and what drives the pricing, okay? No, and at Quartino, we use this rice in 2.5 kilo packages. So I opened the package, I put the rice here. Why is it important? Why is it such a great rice? Why is it my favorite? I don't think it's my favorite. I think it's indispensable. I don't think you can cook good food without superior ingredients. Okay? So it's not to say you can't use this or you can't use this or this. To the contrary, or this. To the contrary. But if I'm looking to cook great food and we're in a competitive marketplace, I need a point of difference, right? And I'm of the opinion, if I do what everybody else does, I'll get what everybody else gets, okay? Then I've reduced my product to a commodity, okay? So how do I differentiate myself in the restaurant business? You know, the last thing Chicago needs is another restaurant. The last thing Chicago needs is another Italian restaurant, right? So when you think in those terms, every ingredient matters. The olive oil starts with the salt. Every ingredient, you say, well, it's expensive. I don't know. I don't know if that is a true statement. I know you have to pay a fair price. I know that it's going to give me an advantage, but in the long term, is that really true? I don't know, you know? And I look at food and fashion as parallel. So if I buy a pair of Ferragamo shoes and they're really expensive, are they? Are they? Do the amortization over 10 years. I have shoes that are 20 years old, 25 years old. They're really inexpensive. On that day when you give your credit card or you pay in cash, they're expensive that day. But in 30 years or in 20 years or in 10 years, they're not. So if I buy a pair of shoes for $100, right? And in 6 months, I got to get another pair. And it's the same with food, right? So a couple of things that you can't measure. When food is processed or it's made well, those ingredients give us a purpose. They give us a meaning in life, okay? And as common and as ordinary as rice is, it's a staple, right? It's a staple that is not considered. It's overlooked. Just give me a bag of rice. Where'd you get the rice? I don't know. I just got the rice. It's a big mistake. So I'm going to tell you about Acquarello, and you make your own decisions. At the end of the class, I'll personalize a book, and each of you will have it. It's my gift to you. But more importantly, I want you to walk away inspired and enriched. We're going to take our time through this process. So you're going to have 4 recipes made all with rice. Everyone knows what a frittata is, right? So you don't need, but it's going to have rice as the base. So we're going to make a great soup with rice, great salad with rice, and obviously a great risotto. And when we get to the risotto team, I'll focus with you, and I'll give you the technique that most chefs know. We're going to do it that way, and then I'm going to show you the one that's done in the purest manner, okay? I touched on the fact of salt. Well, it starts before then. It starts with water. The water that we consume, the water that we cook with, okay, that comes out of those cabinets, I question. I just do. And if you were to make pasta and there's only 2 ingredients, right? Or and it could be 3, depends. If you're making egg pasta, so you have egg flour, right? And a touch of water. If you're making hard wheat flour, hard wheat pasta extruded, it's going to be water and the wheat, right? Well, shouldn't the water be as equal to the wheat? Of course it should. And it's the same in your cooking, right? So again, I go back to, I know you're here and you need to get the basics. I just need some water. And we're going to do that today. But if I was using a mineral water or distilled water, wouldn't the results be better? Costs money. But in the end, it's cheaper. What is the value? You want to have a customer for life. So you open this restaurant, you make this investment, you go out on a limb, you hack everything, and now what do? I try to find the cheapest products available. Why? Because I have this false opinion that I need to make a lot of money to service my debt. We give very little thought to our staff, to our customers, right? To the environment. And when we think in those terms, we have to broaden our thought process, right? So I can sit here and talk for weeks, but I got to get you guys cooking. We got to cook some food today. But going back to this rice. So it's a Culinary species. It's this species of rice, not this producer. It's this species of rice, okay? And they've got 3 aging processes, okay? So there's 1 year, 7 year, and 9 year. You're not going to have access to this. Maybe if you go to Amazon, you can buy the 7 year. The 9 year goes to Japan, okay? They're a small producer. They'll give you an idea. Acquarello is only a company that produces, their revenues are $4 million euros a year. Small company, okay? They've been around for 400 years. They're committed to superior products. So you're going to see the usage of this kind of rice in Michelin's 3-star restaurants, right? So, but in a Michelin 3-star restaurant, you're going to pay $40 or $50 for that rice dish, right? And if you come to Quartino, you're going to pay 12 or 13. We spent our time figuring out the process, and we did that from day one. That wasn't a new endeavor. We knew, so we'll do this calculation just so I can put my money where my mouth is. If you buy 250 grams of rice, Okay? And if you go to my good friends at Italy, okay, and I don't even know if the rice is there anymore, but typically they'll sell that to the consumer market for $5. 250 grams, $5. Okay? One portion of rice, okay, per person is 50 grams. So that's $1, right? My math's okay, right? So, so we spent $1. Now I'm going to need maybe vegetables, maybe fish, maybe meat, whatever. How much is that going to be? If it's vegetables, maybe another $1. If it's fish, maybe $2. If it's meat, maybe $1.50. So let's go from the high end and let's say it's $2. So now I got $3 in the dish. Think about it. So tell that I'm backing into the equation as to why we sell rice for $12. So we made 4 times, right? Food cost is 25%, right? Those are the things we don't think about. Those are the perspectives. It's the same with pasta, right? We buy very expensive wheat. There's no GMOs. It doesn't come from the States, right? I don't believe that we have the right wheat. So we pay for 25 kilos, 55 pounds, we pay $60 for that. It's a lot of money, right? But a portion of pasta is 4 ounces, right? So we have a hydration on pasta. If we're extruding, it's 30%. If we're doing it by hand, it's about 40% for hydrate the amount of liquid, okay? So when we think about it, 55 pounds gets increased by 40%, right? Or 30% at the bare least. So we're back to that same equation. You're spending very little, but shouldn't we be spending our money in superior products? Okay? So this is Culinary Specie, right? What makes this so particular? So the rice is harvested. It's in a town called Novara. Rice is harvested in April, May. The there's an outer coating to the kernel. It's removed, okay, and discarded. Then the germ that's inside is removed, polished, reinserted, polished again. Each one, if you look at each one of these grains, they're absolutely perfect. Yeah, come on up here. Take a look. Okay. Yeah. So here. I pass that around. So when you look at this rice, so to have a superior product versus, I wish I could turn this brand around. Okay, so what this company did, Scotti, they copied the aging process. They said, okay, we're going to do 18 months, and Acquarello has 1 year, 7 year, and 9 year. Okay, all right. So yeah, please take it. Okay, but I don't think you can see this. What they did was the rice kernels, the broken ones are discarded. They're used for other things. Okay, why is that important? You can say, well, I'm just cooking it. You know, you ever hear, maybe you work in the industry and some salespeople come in, well, you're just chopping those tomatoes or you're just cutting those onions. No one's going to know. Why don't you manage your business your way and let me manage my business my way? And I think it'll work out. My only point is this. If we take that approach to cooking food, we've missed the objective. The objective is to cook great food by using great ingredients. And you can do it inexpensively. Now, if I had 3 Michelin stars, you could say, okay, this guy, he lives on another planet, okay? No, we have no stars, 0. We're one of the largest grossing restaurants in the United States. So clearly, and we're not McDonald's either, okay? So clearly, there is a demand for well-prepared food, okay, in the context of using superior ingredients. Okay? All right. So, cannaroli, that's what's in this can. The germs removed, each kernel's processed. So, there are no broken pieces. Why? Because when we go to cook, we go to make a rice preparation, it's going to be seamless. Okay, that's why. Now, is the restaurant goer going to identify all of this what we spoke about? The answer is no. Here's what they're going to do. They're going to taste it, and they're going to say, boy, that really tastes good. And they're going to keep eating it. When they get the check, it's a fair price. Immediately, they make the decision to come back. Immediately. Okay? We didn't spend $1 in PR, advertising, and marketing. I spent my time doing this kind of stuff. Okay? Spending my time talking to the customer, making them realize, no, you guys don't really do this. I said, sure, come with me, let me show you. You know, we don't stage these things because this makes a difference. That's the point of difference. The point of difference begins with the ingredient. Of course, there's the hospitality product. Of course, there has to be a decor product. But all of that we can build. All of that's simple. What's difficult is making someone feel welcomed and at home, and investing in the food ingredients. Because no one's going to know. I don't know if that's true. I don't think they can tell you everything we've talked about here today, but certainly they're going to come back. So how do I get that customer back? If I want to enter a commodity business, I'm going to get commodity results. And when that fad or fashion is over, you are done. Make no bones about it. There's plenty, I can cite hundreds of restaurants that have made those mistakes. No one's going to know, and let me buy this, and this, you know, doesn't work out. Okay? All right. I've bored you. So we're gonna do, I see I lost you quickly. Okay, so the first team, we're going to make a frittata. So who are the people on the first team? We'll do the three of you. Okay. So take your recipe. You take your. On top. No. Go.
Right across the line there.
So take your. So the team, the first team doing the risotto, go to your station, begin to gather the ingredients, and then I'm going to come there and go over it. Okay. The second team is doing the soup. Same process.
So soup will be here, this row 2.
Okay. So get your ingredients together. Okay, and I'll come to your station.
And Sal will be in the third row, and then risotto in the back one. So I do have some of the mise en place, some of the product here. Make sure you kind of lose those bags and stuff down there, out of the road, all that stuff out of the way. So in the aisle 4. So now we're going to be in the 4 like this. So move all those bags so we can sanitize that table. I have some of the products here, so let's start to collect those items. The chef will be around to kind of help tighten you up a little bit.
Okay, one thing important when it says, whether it says arborio, it says via l'anno nanno, or any rice, use the rice from this pan, okay? Just take that here, okay? So we're going to finish. You've got everything ready. We're going to talk about how this was made. So what's in here? So your classmates know what you put in here.
All right, so I was in charge of doing the rice. So I melted down the butter with some sea salt and added the water and rice to it.
Okay.
And then we let it come up to a boil, and we lowered the heat to simmer until the water absorbed, or the rice absorbed the water.
Okay. And then
I added the sauteed spinach with low olive oil, not beating my heat, until the water is released.
Okay.
Salt, pepper.
Oh, I just cracked 12 eggs and I cracked the eggs and I grated the cheese.
Okay. So now we put all this together and we seasoned it, and we've taken some olive oil. I've brushed these pans, okay? And we're going to add the mixture in here. Now, the important thing when we're doing this is to make sure, don't try and brush these with olive oil all at the same time. It won't work, okay? No, what happens is the olive oil moves away from the sides of the pan and then it'll stick. Okay? So these are Teflon coated pans. Okay? I'm sorry?
How much do these go for?
How much do they go for?
Yeah, these kind of pans.
I think maybe $17, $18. Okay? So now while you're doing that, I'm going to add some water. We're going to make a little bain-marie. And many times when you're writing cookbooks, okay, you're going to, all right. So, okay. So, okay. Okay, you put that down and you continue to brush. So, the important thing is that everything is cold. It's all started off hot and it's cold, right? Okay, the next one. And it's almost perfect, right? So you know, when inside your recipe, these pans were not written that way, okay? And then you'll get a little bit of water, okay? I'll hand you this and this. We're finished. Put that onto your station. Yeah, so we'll get a little bit of water, okay? So we're making a bain-marie so it helps not, okay, to stick, okay? We'll put it alongside. So we let this cook about 10 or 12 minutes, okay? Great job. Thank you. Great job. Okay, thank you. Team 2, we're going to do the soup.
Chef, for that risotto, how much does that rice? Does the rice cook all the way? Or how
You got to cook it all the way through.
Okay, so it
Yeah,
starts to produce this-
and you got to let it sit a good 30 minutes. So if the mixture doesn't sit, the rice doesn't absorb the eggs. Okay? I'm sorry? A little past al dente, right? So in rice cookery, if we're making risotto, we think, or in rice salads, we think about al dente, right? Right? When we think about other preparations, if it's in a soup, it can never be. Okay? Team 2? Okay. So,
You guys want to use clipboards or is clipboard maybe you want to take notes?
Okay. So, team 1, 2, and we're, okay, you ready? All right. So bring your tray. Let's line everything up. You got your pot. We got, okay, so we'll put everything here. Okay. All right. So now, go ahead. All right. So we'll go this way. Okay. So why don't we talk a little bit about this rice soup that we're making? Where's the rice? Oh, we got the rice. Okay. So you want to tell me how you did this?
We mise en place. We cut pancetta,
Okay.
celery,
Okay.
onions, little cabbage,
Chickpeas.
chickpeas, and lentils, which were quick soaked.
Okay.
And our other ingredients include some tomato paste, vegetable broth, and cheese for garnish and baking.
And this is cabbage?
Yes.
Okay.
And some pepper.
Okay. So one thing on the cabbage, my only observation is cabbage should be cut a little bit more evenly. So when you go to put this in the soup, you can see how this, okay? So I'm glad this happened. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through this. Okay. All right. Okay. So one thing to remember is when we're cooking and we see something that isn't working, or we think there's something that, this is olive oil. Where's the container? Oh, it was here. Okay. So we want to check all of our preparation, right? We want to make sure, and we want to be critical. We don't want to say, okay, well, I did it and it's good enough. We want to be hypercritical of what we're doing, okay? So in order to make the soup, we're going to add some olive oil. That says olive oil, right? So, okay, what's the next piece? So work from the recipe, okay? What do we put next? Okay.
Olive oil and pancetta
Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, and then what's the next? So we've got olive oil, we've got pancetta. What else?
Once that's cooked, we have, besides, we're doing the celery, onion, cabbage, bay leaves, and pepper.
Celery, onions. Okay, celery, onions, bay leaf. Okay, pepper. Okay, so we're going to put these 4 ingredients in, correct? All right. Okay,
Are you doing this, or are we doing this?
you're going to do this.
Okay.
So what has to happen to the pancetta?
Translucent but not brown.
Okay.
And soft and translucent but not brown.
Okay, so we're going to need a spoon. We've got a spoon here. Okay. 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 Okay, go ahead. Keep mixing. So we never add salt when we're cooking anything with beans, right? We add it at the end. Why is that? Very good. Okay. Okay. Okay, now what happens? So we've got all this working. What do we add now?
The lentils and the chickpeas.
Okay, and then?
Would you ever add your rice to that oil to get it nutty and crispy or no?
No. This is scaled off? Okay. And then after this we add
Tomato paste?
tomato paste, and then? Okay, I'm right behind you. So we're going to add the stock or the rice?
The stock.
Okay, and then?
And then it says cook for an hour and a half.
Okay. All of it, right? Okay.
And then I guess it's,
When do we add the rice?
after it's cooked for about an hour and a half when the chickpeas and the lentils are tender.
Okay. Everyone got that? Okay, so now I'm gonna turn the heat down. Gonna let that go. Okay, hour and a half. So that's hour and a half. That's 120, 220. What time? 240. Okay, so we're done with this, correct?
Yes.
With this, we're done. This stays here. This stays here. Okay. Take that to to pot. I'll need this. Okay. Team 3.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, team 3. So, team 3. Let's talk about this. What do we got going on?
For the rice, we added 4 cups of water, the rice, butter, and salt. And then we
Okay.
turned the heat till it started boiling, kept stirring until it started to boil, and we turned it down to a simmer.
Okay.
Then stir and let it sit.
Okay.
We filleted the fish, and we de-skinned it and got rid of all the pin bones.
Okay.
And chopped it up into what's that?
2-inch size pieces.
Okay. So now, the rice is at room temperature, right? Maybe a little bit warmer than room.
It's a cold bowl you're putting it in.
It's a cold bowl. Right. Okay, I'm going to hand you this. So you take all of this, take the pan away, and we're all done. Okay? So now we're going to mix this together. Okay, you're going to mix. We're going to add this. Go ahead. You're going to take that plastic spatula, scrape all that out. So we need white wine, olive oil. Okay, scrape all that down. Season it. Okay. No, they're dishes that we made in the book in order to give people an insight. We make, we're in the business of business. So what that means is we've got 4 different rice dishes on the menu. Okay, we'll make a rice salad similar to this in the summertime. Okay.
Smells great.
Okay, so we're gonna put the trout on here. Okay. So I'm gonna get this one started.
You want me to get into the pan?
No, there's the one right behind. Okay. Okay, so bring that pan here. Okay, and I'm gonna hand you this. Put a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and then you're gonna do what I just did, right? Okay. I'm gonna put this on the stove, and that's okay. I'll use this. It's all good. Okay. You'll season that with salt and pepper. Okay. That's it. Okay. We're all set. We're all good, right? Okay. May I? Okay. It's good. Okay. I'm going to hand you this. Get rid of this. Take that with you. And this. Good job. Okay. Season that. Great. Okay.
Why is it you start that in the cold pan, Chef?
It's gonna cook quickly. It's a thin fish, so it's gonna quick. Okay. So here, if you could do this, if you could take this and just do that. Okay. Okay. Lower the heat. Okay. Please.
Salt and pepper and regular black pepper.
Yeah. So we've added some olive oil to the rice salad, right? Okay. And then we're going to... So we still have the frittata working in the oven. Okay, on the stovetop, same process, right? Okay. Okay. Now, how about some microgreens? Bring that tray here, we'll use that. Okay. Okay, we'll bring that tray right here. Thank you. Okay. This fish is okay. We'll do the same thing. Okay, now. Okay. Okay, you can move that there. Okay, you'll hold this, please. There you go. Okay, now. Get the fish spatula. Okay, so we're going to start here. This is fast, simple, and you're going to go like this. Okay? You're going to shingle it all the way around. Okay? Okay, that's it. You're cooking the fish. Great job. Okay? All right, now, what you're going to do is you're going to begin to get this all, let's see, some nice pieces here. Okay? You're going to put this right here, okay?
All right. What would you like, Chef?
Maybe 2 times that, okay? How's that? Good?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Okay. If I could just one moment, please. I don't think it's hot. Put it on 500. Okay, that's it. Good job. Okay, that's it. Now, one of the things we want to remember is when we're doing this, we should be using gloves because this is going out, right? So the rule is what? When do we put gloves on? What?
Ready to eat.
Ready to eat.
When it's ready to eat. Okay, I'll go along with that. Okay, you're next. Now you got to make this fill in here. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
So we got the soup working, and that's it. Good job.
I just wanted to still.
That's it. Just bring it out a little more. You know, so that's there you go. Okay. Okay. That's it. But you see how easy it is? The rice is cooked. So fundamentally, you're making a rice salad, right? You're adding grated lemon, salt, pepper to it. Then we're pan-searing the trout. And then if you have a little bit extra, you would put it on top. You know, the asparagus spears and stuff, and put that on there, right? So it could be great as for a buffet. We could be great inviting friends, family in your home, right? Summertime, perfect, right? Spring, spring, summer's asparagus season, right? The best being in spring, right? Okay. Now, you can't stop with asparagus. You got to say, okay, can I do it with peas? Can I do it with fava beans? Can I do it with mint? I mean, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Okay.
What kind of microgreens?
I'm sorry?
What kind of microgreens? Basil?
It's basil, yeah. But, you know, again, you want to put this ever so. I try not to toy with the food too much because I prefer, okay? I'm going to hand you this, and you're going to take this, and this away, and here you go. So this gets pulled away, and there's your rice. Okay? So we got the rice, okay?
That's everything for the risotto, and this is everything for the...
And what kind of risotto are we making?
We are making the grana con pori grana.
Okay. Okay. So we'll get everyone back in a second, and then we'll start on the next one. Okay. So leeks. One pot. I've got one here,
Okay.
and let me see. The amount of leek is this, and all these together, no?
This is leeks, and this is the
Okay, grandma. Okay. So let me have this pan. Okay. And we're good. Okay. Okay. All right. So we've got onions, butter, so. Okay. Okay. And what's in here? These go together, couldn't fit, okay? So, we've got onions. So the traditional method, let's talk about the traditional method, and then we'll leap off into another process that's simpler and more effective. So, we remember the conversation about last thing Chicago needs is another restaurant, last thing it needs is an Italian restaurant, last thing it needs is more risotto, right? So if that's the case, how do I make this perfect risotto? Well, if all the work has been done in this rice, and clearly a lot of work has been done, the least I can do is purchase superior ingredients, right? High quality cheese, mineral water, right? Great butter, great vegetables, right? Okay, so all of you will receive a book, the recipe is in there, but I want to show you today, and the recipe to do this is also in there, okay? But I want to show you today how to do this and really be efficient. So we're going to bring this up to the boil. Okay? And this is a foolproof method. So once this comes to the boil, we're going to add the rice. Okay? Now, you say, okay, I like onions, right? And that's what this is about, is having onions. We're going to take the onions that normally would have been in the sofrito, and we're going to pair them together with the leeks, right? So we've got all the leeks here. The white wine, we're going to add this in here. Okay? So I'm going to give you all this back. Cheese we need, butter we need, salt, pepper. This, it looks like olive oil, right? Okay, beautiful. Okay? I'm going to give you this tray. That's yours. Take that tray. No, if you take that tray, we're all good. The stock, yeah, you can leave the stock there. Okay? Thank you. Salt, pepper, and you've got here salt, pepper, no?
Yes.
And olive oil. Okay, we're done. Okay, take that. Okay. So we're going to bring this up to the boil. We're going to take this, so we're going to, here, you're going to watch this pot, and you're going to make sure when it boils that I stop talking, okay? So, let's talk a little bit about these varieties of rices so you can get an idea and an understanding. There's an old term, what goes together, what grows together, goes together. What does that mean? Well, that means that we want to cook with things in close proximity. Why? Because they were meant to go together. They either have historical, religious, there is some significance as to why those things go together. Okay? Meaning, springtime was always for lamb, okay? But if you were by an ocean, chances are you wouldn't have that, okay? So you would probably be cooking with fish or shellfish. So, the same holds true for rice. If this is true, okay, then explain why there are arancini and crocchette in southern Italy, because there were no rice fields there. The only rice fields in southern Italy are in Sardinia, and they produce these two rices. So the venere, which is a black rice, okay? This black rice, you need to cook it for 45 minutes. The red rice, you can cook it very similar to cannelloni rice. No one can explain that. No one can give an intelligent answer as to why. Because remember, Italy is a country with 20 different regions. Each one was its own monarch, its own city-state, so to speak. And they produced everything they consumed, clothing, food, wine, was all made from that area. So someone living in Calabria who grew up on chilies or andouille would not think of eating speck from Alto Adige. They don't go together, okay? They're very divided from cultural purposes, cultural reasonings. So, why is that important in cooking? Because when you cook, you have to cook as though you were immersed in that region or you were there trying to replicate this product to the very best of your ability. Once again, if you're going to make Italian food, you need Italian ingredients. If you're going to make French food, you need French ingredients, and the list goes on and on and on. You have to think about the season, the region, where it's coming from. So, we would not, a good example would be, and today it's changing. You know when you see these plates made with prosciutto, and then there's a piece of mozzarella on top? Well, prosciutto, most cured meats are from, you know, I wouldn't even say central, northern Italy. I mean, they make the best salumis, not the best, they make a lot of salumis that get a lot of recognition because of the cold weather. In southern Italy, they have to wait till the weather gets cool, if it ever does, and then attempt to make the salumis. You know, it's popular now to see things like andouille, which used to be made from what was left over from the pig after it was butchered, and then they put it with Calabrian chilies, which is very hot. Why? Because to cover up a lot of that flavoring, right? I mean, it's fundamentals. In rice cookery, we need to realize all of that. So it's the northern part of Italy, the northern corridor, from Liguria all the way to the Veneto, right? That's the rice belt, if you will. In there, there's 140, okay. In there, there's 140 species of rice, okay? I'm adding the rice here now, okay? All right, so we're done with this. Okay, who's gonna set 10 minutes? Set okay? Set 10 minutes. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to add olive oil. Okay? And then I'm going to add the onions. So 10 minutes, this rice is going to be ready. Okay? So if you're in a restaurant, and we do this, at Gibson's Italia, we make the risotto this way. We use a 7-year aged rice. Okay? So, it would be nice for me to show you something that couldn't be done and see how, and see how difficult it is, but that's not the case. This is done in real time. Okay? So you got this. I'm going to give you guys all of this, and you take this away, please. Okay. That's leeks. So we're making a risotto dish that has leeks and grana padano. Very simple, very basic, right? Okay. Why do we do that? So why don't we add all this stuff together? I'm going to explain to you. We want the flavors of the rice to be ever so pronounced. How can we do that? There's only one way, by giving attention to the rice. Meaning we're focused on cooking the rice and cooking it in a way that brings this whole dish together. So now in here, with the onions and the leeks and all of this business, see how this is? We just let this cook away, okay? And we're gonna fold this, once the rice is cooked, we're gonna fold this into it. We're gonna add butter and Parmigiano, we're done. Season it, salt and pepper, okay? It's called a rice spoon. And the reason here, I'll show you the reason. The reason is so the rice passes through.
Oh,
okay? If you use a regular wooden spoon, a metal spoon, never metal and never plastic. So you need wood, right? Because if you rub metal against the metal, the flavor goes into the food. You're going to melt, if you use plastic, you're going to melt the spoon. So take them out of the equation, right? Okay. What I'm doing is just taking a touch of the liquid. So if you can boil pasta, you can make risotto. It's that simple. Okay. It's cooked? I doubt it. Yeah, they're ready. Beautiful. Okay. 1, 2. All right. All right. So, if you can move that, yes. Thank you, thank you. Okay? All right, beautiful. That's perfect. All right, now. So, the next step. Where's team 1? All right, come on. You guys are going to help me out. No, I'm all good. Okay, now. Now. Okay. So, the pans are warm. We got all this stuff going away here. Okay. So, feel that? Feel the firmness of the egg? So we take this out, we unmold it. Okay? Okay. Okay, now, may I? Okay. So, I'm going to do one, you'll do the rest. So this here. Okay. Then you put them like this, okay? All right, then we're going to put a toothpick in here. Okay? Got it? All right, go ahead. You're all set. Okay?
Sure, let me grab
Gloves.
some
All right. How's the timer?
We have 4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes? Okay. Okay. So someone's gonna cut, right? Where's the third person? You're gonna have gloves and you're gonna put it on the plate. Okay? You're gonna put it on the plate, then a toothpick, okay? Okay, here, so I'll show you. Okay, so here's what I did. The rice at 10 minutes gets to this stage, okay? Now I close this, okay?
Can you pull the toilet off one more time?
Sure. Okay? Okay. Now I'm adding the vegetables. This can be, let's imagine this if this is seafood. Right? Okay, I'm going to come here. Now I'm going to add, this is the cheese. No, this is. Okay, going to add this. Going to add the butter.
Chef, typically you see risotto made by adding the liquid little by little.
Huh?
Usually you see, well, I've seen risotto made. where you add
Yeah, it's
the
called
liquid little by
sofrito,
little.
right?
Okay.
So we're not doing that because
That's
you
great.
you got the recipe in the book, but this can be done in 10 minutes
Yeah.
or really 12 minutes.
Did that have to be stirred any while it was cooking? Just the
No.
rice alone? You just let it cook down?
Here. So here.
So it's moving already, okay. That's
Okay.
like doing regular rice, if it's boiling, you're gonna get some rice. Yeah.
Okay. All I need is one 4-ounce ladle. Okay.
It does smell good.
Okay. Now, can I have that dinner plate that's there? Beautiful. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Got a ladle. Okay. That's good. So. It's ready. Okay? It's flat. So the rice has to be flat. Okay? And I'll give you this so you can take that. Okay? So I'm just finishing up the soup. I've added salt, pepper, and a little bit of Parmigiano.
So the chef, we won't forget him coming, and he won't forget us.
Oh, thank you. So this is the soup. That's it. Okay?
So Abby, Jackie, or Amy, you guys, you come around, you can do the soup for us for the chef.
So if you want to take a picture of that, you're all set. Okay?
Any questions while you're here to enjoy the soup? Any questions you have?
So when did the rice get added? I missed that.
After about an hour into it.
Okay.
Okay? What I would do is leave that cup there.
Yep.
Okay? And turn those spoons around so they can take it. You don't need to do that. Okay? Go right here. Got it?
I'll see if I can do it that well.
Okay? You're all good. So, just a brief synopsis. All of the dishes you tasted today were made with Aquarello rice. In the book, I give specific species, okay? But I'm of the opinion, again, this rice is not bad. This is probably 100, and this is probably 85. But in that 85, this is what my competitors use. So we go back to, how do I have an advantage by using this? They won't buy this because they believe it's expensive. I'm of the opinion this is expensive.
In terms of customer, repeat customer?
Well, you will never drive your business. You'll go out of business.
So the rice right there, the yellow, that is found where? Where would you find that in the store wise?
Stores?
Yeah, not any stores. Would it be online perhaps?
Look at Mariano's, look at Amazon, look at... Italy doesn't carry this anymore. Because, it's easier to buy this. It's half the price. But, like we spoke earlier, okay, this is actually less costly.
Do you use that in all the applications in your restaurants, or do you use the other one?
I use this. In order to be fair, I couldn't write a book about Acquarello. It wouldn't be right. We use rice that's 1 year. This is 1 year. And we use one that's 7 year. This here is, I go often to Italy and I go to the rice farm. So this is a 9 year. Okay, but it's sent to Japan. They won't bring it to the States. It's too much money.
What's the difference? What's the difference between 1 year and 9 year?
1 year, 7, the time it sits. There are silos.
Yeah.
Just like you would put wheat in, you would put rice in it. They're a small facility. It's not big, right? The amount of rice, Italy is the largest producer of rice in Europe, okay? But the amount of rice that gets exported is typically, you're going to see arborio, truckloads of it, truckloads of cannaroli. Let me see this one. Violone Nonno, truckloads of this also. They're not bad. They're just 85.
As far as the 9 year compared to the 7 year compared to the 1 year, is it more of a depth of flavor?
More depth, because now that rice gets so concentrated, right? And then the moisture content, once you harvest rice, the moisture content then goes away, right? Gets reduced like meat. So picture dehydrating vegetables. You're taking the moisture out. Well, that's what they're doing in the rice. The Chinese used to do this in times of famine. It's not anything new to. It's new to the Western world. It's not new to the Asian world. The aging process of rice, no. So this company here is a very commercial company. I'm not here. They do a good job. So but their rice kernels are not elaborately worked upon. Okay, so they age this for 18 months. When you go to cook it, you see how the kernels of rice are so perfect, right? And when you remember like that frittata, you could actually see the kernels of rice. You won't see it in this stuff because it's all broken, fragmented, And is your customer, you're going to say, oh, customer doesn't know. Well, if that's the case, don't open the restaurant. Because nobody knows. You're the only guy that knows, so you're going to go out of business. It's that simple. It's not more complicated than that. The reason restaurants go in and out of business is the first thing, undercapitalized. The second thing, they don't take care of the customer. If you take care of the customer, they got nowhere else to go. And I don't want our competitors to change. I want them to keep doing what they're doing. They're great. I love them. They make it easy for me. Right? But those are all philosophical beliefs, all right? I'm sure that there are people that do 10 times the volume that we do that see it another way. And so be it. Thank God he see it another way. We'd be in trouble.
Chef, what do you find arborio rice is appropriate for?
Soups, fundamentally soups, and I would put it in a frittata, okay? Where if I were to use arborio in here, you wouldn't have these results. It'll break. Just the nature of the rice. It's not bad. Do not misunderstand me. But there's a difference between 100 and 85. That's the only difference. But then again, if I were to take, converted rice, that would be for me at 2, and this would be 85, and this would be at 100, right? Depends what you want to do. If how serious you are about preparing good food, you got to first be serious about the ingredients you buy and be very serious about the techniques, right? And that's all it is. It's not more complicated.
I'd say the microwave rice is -10.
Yeah. Then we can start to go below 0, right? Okay.
Any other questions for the chef?
What are some of the oils you have?
Those actually from us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and again, the same thing. Oil is another complicated. Every subject is complicated. None of it is simple. But there are products made for what's known as the export market in Italy or France or wherever. There are products made for the internal market. So I buy things that you normally use inside of Italy, right? That makes the difference, right? The type of salt we use, the type of pepper we use, the types of spices we use. It's not that I try to be anal or try to be more complicated. What's going to be the advantage? Everyone knows pasta. Everyone knows rice. Where's the advantage? Has to be in the materials. And do very little to it. I did very little to this. You guys did this. I didn't do anything. You look at, you had to write a recipe. Okay, I do it this way, that way. But you guys did it. So it's more about that execution, that precision, understanding the techniques combined with the ingredient. And I don't think it's a 50-50 equation. I don't think you can say, well, I'm highly skilled and I'm used to working with food out of a garbage can. No, it doesn't work like that. You cannot improve on this product. You can't, with your technique, improve on this product. There's no way. I don't care who you are, right? What this gives an advantage, if someone is a mediocre cook, they've just become a very good cook. Yeah, right? They've just become an amazing cook, right? Why? Oh, this tastes so good. Meanwhile, why? Because the ingredient was so thought. All the work's done here. Think about this. When you look here, balsamic vinegar is another one, right? Oh my God. They cook it. They do anything humanely possible to it to distort it and to fool the customer. Why? Because there's money attached to it. But if you were to use high quality products, like I said, it's less. I believe this is less expensive. Not I believe, I know it's less expensive than this.
Kind of let the flavors show themselves, right?
Yeah.
45 million flavors of this and that. Let the natural ingredients do it, quality in, quality out. Simple flavors.
Yeah. I mean, and the rest is just, the details of operating a business. But that's it. I mean, it's not complicated. If you can boil pasta, you can cook rice. That's, and the myth of, I got to stand there and cook this rice. You want to do that, go ahead and do it. But it's not precise. When you make soups, it cannot be precise because of the gas flame, the temperature, the pot size, the time of the year, right? How long, especially when cooking beans, how long did they soak? Were they 1 day or 2 days? Where are the beans from? How long did they sit in the side? I mean, there's a long story, right? Those are things we don't think about, right? Go back to the eggs, or tell me about this chicken, tell me about the eggs. It's a lot. So spending more time understanding those ingredients and understanding the abilities that those ingredients have in cooking, all of a sudden you move so far ahead, right? Because no one, and trust me, when I mean no one, 95% of the marketplace just buys by how much is this a pound? How much does this cost? And then that's the end of it, And that's a problem. When you see things like, Mediterranean, be very cautious. What the translation of Mediterranean is really North Africa. Not that that's bad. There isn't that refinement for oil. There isn't that refinement for olives, right? And there's lots and lots of things in that category, right? If North Africa produced the products that they are known for and did them with the integrity that they have, they would be successful. But, business people from both Italy and France go there and turn the place upside down. And then it becomes unrecognizable products that are produced without integrity. That's the problem. The same with Greece. Greece makes some great products. But when you see, the kind of mixtures in cans on olive oil, be very leery. There are factories in Italy where you go in, it's like going to a paint shop. You say, okay, what color you like? They put a color swatch. So you pick out the color of the oil. Then they have the flavors. You pick out the flavor. And they have silos of olive oil from all around the world. And they blend everything. You won't know. You leave, you don't know what's going on. That's not the place to buy olive oil. But that is what goes on in the marketplace, because the importers they are not driven or passionate. They're driven, their focus is money. How much money can I make? Right? And then simultaneously, how many restaurant operators go into this kind of depth? They don't. Just give me salt. I need pepper. What kind? I need black pepper. What kind you think? Really? You got a species maybe where it comes from? I worked in Singapore for 2 years. I used to go to the spice markets every morning. And the fragrance of those spices is what made the food. I never thought that the food, the raw materials, the beef, veal, lamb, pork, chicken, was ever of exceptional quality. I thought it was a very good quality. But what made it were those spices. But you paid more for those spices than you did for the proteins. And those spices will not come to the States, because you got to pay for them. And people have an aversion to paying. They would prefer to pay less and get nothing than pay more and get what you pay for. Okay? Good. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much.